now listening to The Bryan Callen Show, rated the #1 podcast of all time.
Of all time.
Oh.
Make sure you're ready, because this is the podcast where you are guaranteed to learn virtually everything. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bryan Callen Show, and I'm with Jay Larson, who is considered by many to be one of the top 100,000 comics in the country.
I've dipped, huh?
I'd say you are. I mean, Chris D'Elia was talking about how funny you were. And I would say, I mean, I've said this to other comics. I've only had really good comics on the podcast just by accident. But what you do is, there are very few people that do what you do. I mean, very few. I'm gonna say there are maybe 100 people in the country that can do who are as funny as you. I mean that's a big deal.
I mean, it sounds good to me.
You're in top 100 in the world. I'm gonna give you that.
Oh,
maybe
Jesus
50.
Christ, I don't even know.
What do you think, honestly, in your heart?
I don't care.
I know. It's a dumb thing to think about. I don't even know what being funnier means, but you're original. Like, you do that weird
I just try to. Yeah, I
shit
just try to,
that's
though.
funny as hell. You have a special.
Yeah, well, 2011.
Yeah, on Comedy Central?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one Chris D'Elia was talking about.
Yeah.
He came and sat down. We were about to record the 10-minute podcast, and he's like, dude, Jay Larson you got to see this shit. And he was freaking out.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
And I was like, I wrote that stuff for him.
Yeah, and people like...
Which I did in a way, because just by my presence.
Just like by you being alive, everyone's kind of taking a little bit from what you're doing.
I'm your biggest influence.
Oh, hands down. It's you, then Cosby, then Seinfeld. You know
by the way, America, if you like to laugh, I'm going to be in Utah at Wise Guys November 29th and 30th.
Which club?
28th, 29th. Whatever, the Friday after Thanksgiving, and then that Saturday. Whatever that is. That's a good time to do stand-up. I'm sure people are going to come out in droves. You better come out. I'm a scream.
I liked it out there.
Did you go out there? You did Wise Guys?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was fantastic. I went to the library during the day and wrote. They got a cool library in town.
My parents live a half hour away, man.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
No, you staying with them?
Yeah.
Oof.
They got a hell of a house.
I bet they do.
I come from money, bro.
Do you?
Oh, I'm rich as shit.
See, I'm poor, man. We grew up poor.
Poor pauper. I don't like having paupers. Honestly, it's gross to me to have paupers on my podcast.
I think I'm more relatable than you. You know what I mean? Because I think you live in this glass house. You know what I mean?
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
But I have an edge to me. I'm edgy.
No, but it's a forced edge. It's a fake edge. It comes from like nothing really. Like, where's your edge come from?
Just from like.
What are you fighting for?
Just getting down and dirty. Like, I rock hard. You know. I'm like, let's do it. And then my friend's like, what? Whatever, Brian. I'm like, come on. And I get in my car. I'm like, well, I'm going to drive.
And you're like literally just like grocery shopping and like, why is he so pumped up?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Let's eat more meat. You know, that stuff.
You don't have a chip on your shoulder?
No.
I
don't
do.
think so.
I always will.
Well, I think it's important. Comics, a lot of comics do.
Always.
What's your chip? Where's it come from?
From my dad leaving.
Oh, your dad left.
Yeah. That'll
Wow.
always be my chip. It'll
You'll
always
never
be,
lose that.
No way. That's the best. It's like you're always proving something.
How?
Always.
We're all so fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
We are all fucked up. Wait, so your dad? That's really funny. It's not funny that your dad left. How old were you?
2.
Yeah, and it still gets to you.
Oh, it's
at 2, you're like, fuck this, right?
Oh no, I mean it doesn't get to me. Now I'm kind of like but I'm always going to have something to prove just to the world, you know what I mean? Just to prove my worth, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I always want that. I think I say this all the time. Everyone should find one thing that they should keep in the back of their head that they're going to fight for if you want something big in life. You know what I mean?
I interviewed Dana White the other day in Vegas, and I said, "What drives you?" And he said, "I want the UFC. I want MMA to be the biggest sport in the world." What I didn't ask him as a follow up, which pisses me off, I don't know why I didn't. I was brain dead. Was what about you and your childhood drives you the way it? This guy still.
I would love to know that.
He's got such an edge.
Mm-hmm.
Boxes, works out, and answers tweets and gets in fights with people on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "What?" I go, "Why do you do that?" You know, and he's like, "Because it's fucking fun."
I mean, what do you think he sleeps, like 4 hours a night?
I don't know, man. He's amazing.
What are you logging a night?
I got to get my 7.5. I just had a sleep expert from Oxford University, a groundbreaking scientist in sleep, on my podcast, and since I listened to that, I'm obsessed with getting my 8 hours or 7.5.
8, that's what you need?
In a dark room. Yeah,
Huh.
I believe in it.
I want to check in. I think 6 is my like my steady zone.
If I work out, if I'm not working out like a maniac,
yeah.
I can get no 6 is no problem. If I'm working out the way I do, I gotta sleep.
Yeah, and you work out. You're intense about it.
I'm like a greyhound, bro.
Yeah, you see me.
I'll let you take my body in with your hands a little bit later in a straight way, obviously.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to feel those abs. Just see
don't,
what's going on.
As long as there's no eye contact, I'll get lost in those fucking sea blue eyes. Of
yeah,
yours.
these are nice, huh?
Yeah,
You're
you got
jealous
some
of
eyes
it.
on-
That's
you got
good.
some eyes.
I get it. I get it.
So wait, let's go back to your chip. It's fantastic.
Mhm.
So your father leaves at 2.
Mhm.
Did your mom remarry?
Never. I think my mother. No, never. There was never another dude ever in her
Really?
life. Yeah.
Never
she had 4
another
kids.
dude?
Her whole deal was like, these are my kids. I'm raising them. That was her deal.
Wow.
And she was involved in tons of things. My mother was involved in like tons of arts, music, all that kind of stuff. So she had
In
like her own
Boston?
hobbies. Yeah, just outside Stoneham. Spot
Did
in
you go
Pride,
to
bro.
college?
Yeah,
Where?
New Hampshire, St. Anselm.
I know St. Anselm.
5 years. What?
Yeah. What'd you study?
English. Well, I started out in business and then marketing and then
Yeah, I did.
sociology and then English.
I started out in econ, and then I was a history
Ugh.
major. What a joke. But what are you a reader?
I go through phases. You know, if I'm not reading, I'm writing.
Favorite book?
I really like The Invisible Man.
Never read it.
Ralph Ellison.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's a pretty good book.
Yeah.
But if I
read The Invisible Man. What am I thinking?
yeah, see, I know you did.
Yeah. That was a long time ago, man.
Yeah, that was like
That's a great book. I forgot about that book.
yeah, it was a great book, man. Great book.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
This
I don't
is when I
remember
did.
any of it.
When I moved here. I lived in Hollywood for 6 months, then moved to Venice for 4 months, and then we got booted, and I had nowhere to go. And I moved into like my friend was an architect, and he bought this house on Indiana, over in Dogwood. He was gonna rip down because it was like unlivable.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You can live here if you want." And I lived there for 14 months, and I just started reading, bro. I was reading, writing,
Yeah.
no shower. I had no heat.
Why do you think reading is important? I know so many people that don't read. Like Chris D'Elia.
Of
I hope
course,
he's listening.
D'Elia's not reading.
He's like, I know, dude. It's just so hard. Come on, D'Elia.
Not only this, I was just talking about this last night on stage. I like reading books. I don't want to read from a Kindle. I get it. It's like, you know, but
yeah.
books, we're going to lose books at some point. You know,
Yeah.
they're going to be gone.
Already are.
But the best thing about a book, like an old book, is
Feel it.
the other people that read it, where it went, where they were when they were reading it. It's taking in, you know, it's like got character. It's got a life of its own.
Yeah.
I love that.
I've always had this nostalgia for being. I want to live in the Northeast. I have this image of me in a log cabin or just an old wood house in Vermont, New Hampshire, or Mass. I'm wearing a tweed jacket. I'm smoking a pipe. I have some kind of hunting dog, but probably with my druthers, I want a German Shepherd, a
too.
German Lines. I want a working dog, not some fucking AKC bullshit. And I want to be reading. I want to have a library of leather-bound first edition books. And I'm going to revisit the classics. Moby Dick,
You know what?
Billy Budd. Just find all the great authors.
Billy Budd the
Joseph
Shriver?
Conrad.
Come on, dude. Stay on the bottom floor. Let me tell you this right now. What do you want to go all day with this? I would say if there's one book that I think every single person in the world should read,
Yeah.
it's what is it? Old Man the Sea.
Of
Especially
course.
as actors, anyone struggling or trying to do something, Old Man the Sea, bro. And I'm not a huge Hemingway fan.
It's a great metaphor.
Yeah,
It's a great metaphor. I've read
amazing.
everything by Hemingway.
Did you
but-
read Green Hills of Africa?
Yes, I did.
It was the cockiest, most
The one thing I remember from Green
self-centered
Hills of
book.
Africa that kind of it's funny you mentioned that book. The one thing I remember so vividly about that is when he talks about shooting the rhinoceros. He says, and it hit with the bullet hit with a comedic thump.
Mm-hmm.
A comedic thump as the great beast fell or something like that. And I went, that's a weird thing to say. When you kill an animal that sort of interesting and prehistoric or whatever it looks like, you know, and then you call it a comedic thump. I would never want to kill a rhinoceros. I'm not eating it. So
I
why would
feel
kill
like
it?
the way he wrote that book is your stage persona.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
Well, Hemingway was obsessed with masculinity, as am I. I mean, he was obsessed with it. But he at least went and did things like fought bulls and boxed and drove an ambulance in the
Whatever.
in the Spanish Civil War, I believe. So he kind of would go and investigate and then write.
Yeah.
But he was a terrible person.
Yeah, I've not. Yeah.
I mean, he was an awful guy. He was just a very, very, very arrogant guy, one of those egomaniacs who left a wake of, sorrow, I think, in some ways. I mean, look, he was a great writer, and I guess he was revolutionary in his rudimentary prose.
Ooh, look at you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, do you think an artist needs to go experience to then do what they do? Because, I mean, he did that. That's like what Kerouac and the Beats were doing. That's what a lot of people...
I actually would have told you yes a long time ago, and now I think you can learn everything through one thing. So if you're really good at one thing, if you really apply yourself at one thing, I think that's the way to go. I think that you can learn the mysteries and secrets of the universe by applying yourself completely to one thing. If you're a great tennis player, what it takes to get great is the same thing it takes to get great at the cello, at the drums,
but you're not
at
learning
painting.
those things.
Well, see, the learning those things is less relevant in some ways than the art of learning. There is an art to learning that we don't teach. And so a great baseball player can hit a ball because they can chunk information faster than you can. They can watch that pitcher wind up, and as he throws, they can see the seams of the ball all in a split second. And they can predict where that ball is going to go better than most people. If you're really good, you can do it, a third of the time, and you connect with that ball. That becomes sort of the way they hit balls and stuff. That's less interesting to me. That would be experience and perfect practice. I'm talking about what you get out of getting to that point.
Okay. I think there's three types of people. I think there's people that are gifted. I think there are people that work hard. And then I think there are people that are gifted and work hard. Me being the last.
Gifted and work hard.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always say, when people go, do you know Jay Larson? I go, do you mean the guy who's gifted and who works his ass off?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Gifted, though, is tricky because it depends on what you're talking. Some people have a natural and physical proclivity for something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like being talent is a weird thing. Talent probably starts with a deep interest in something, an inherent interest in something. You know,
oh, really? You're going to go chicken the egg here? You don't think that just is naturally
I don't know. I don't know
instilled in
the
some
answer.
people?
I know they've done a lot of work on this recently, and there are a number of books that have been written on this. Dan Coyle, who I had on my podcast, wrote a book called The Talent Code, where he went and studied all the schools that put out world champions, the best in the world. They're typically the same person. He met the same person over and over, the same coach over and over. It's a guy doesn't give inspirational speeches. He's just a guy who's broken down, like he knows how to disseminate information and connect.
Yeah.
And has an unorthodox way of approaching whatever sport it is, right, or whatever instrument you're playing. So, but I do think that you need. I do think I mean, you're not sprinting. You're not going to win the Olympics unless you're from the Biafra coast of West Africa.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it if you're from Kenya. You might run farther, but you're not going to be run
Goddamn
fast.
right.
So it all depends on your genetic makeup and that has. You're not going to play in the major leagues unless you have incredible eyesight. But I'm saying that after that, their software plays a large factor. The kind of technique that you apply. I really do think like stand-up. I was talking about this the other day. I had a set, and I know you've been here, so I'll just say it. Like I had a set in Sacramento that was felt so good. Like the audience was they were laughing so hard that I swear to God, in minute 20 I went, I'm not going to start tagging these jokes because I don't want them to wear themselves out. That sounds very arrogant. I don't mean it that way. What I mean is that I've been writing so much and doing so much stand-up that I got to a point where I really felt like I was letting the air in and out of a balloon. I know that sounds, I don't mean it to sound that way. I'm just saying that when you've been doing something that long, you develop another level of control over it. Is what it felt like. And it was nice to feel that.
That's amazing.
And that had nothing to do with being talented. It had to do with doing it so much. I'm doing it like 10 hours a weekend.
Yeah.
And when you do that for a year straight, you're going to get pretty good at something.
Yeah.
So
I would agree, but I think at the same time, you still have to come to correct. You have to bring all that energy, and you have to go with it. But you kill, dude.
Well, I love doing it. So.
BC loves to kill.
I started doing. I think I started doing stand up in my. I think I became a comic as I look back on it because I was moved every fucking year and a half, 2 years to a whole different country with a whole group of new people.
Yeah.
And I had to make friends quickly.
Yeah,
How do you make friends with guys? Make them laugh and be okay at sports.
Yeah, of course. I never had to deal with that. Mine was always trying to make my mother happy. That was my whole thing.
But how'd you get so fucking funny? And
Because of that.
making your mom laugh?
There was 4 of us. I'm the youngest of 4, and everyone kind of had their own thing. And then we'd be on vacation. I remember my brother and my sister, they were the middle, so they'd pair up. And they'd go to play arcades, and then I'd want to run along, and I'd look back and I'd see my mom. I'm like, God damn it. And so it was always I say this to my wife all the time. Every day I wake up, I'm in a good mood. No question.
Really?
I'm never not in a good mood. Every time.
Why?
Because why not? There's nothing I don't have a reason to be grouchy.
That's great.
Put it this way. If I don't like to come up with excuses. I just assume things are the way they are, and that's why something is the way it is. You know what I mean? So I don't find an excuse. So if I wake up, I'm never grouchy. I'm like, well, why would I need to be grouchy? Because I'm up?
Do you stress?
I stress sometimes, but it's usually internal.
About what?
Money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's probably the big... We always grew up without money. So I knew how much my money, my mother made when I was 10. I remember asking her, how much money you make? Because I was just fascinated. How much money does it take to keep this all going? And so my whole life, we had jobs from day one. So I was always keeping track of how much money needed to go where. But I don't know what we just said. I like getting up in a good mood. I like it. I love that, having that positive outlook. Oh, so it was, yeah. And that was my way with my mom. It was always make everyone happy around. I wanted everyone to like me because I didn't have that. I didn't have any attention, no dad, and then my mom had 4 kids to worry about. I don't think there was any attention coming in. So I'm I need to get every single person to like me. So it was just funny.
That's interesting. Man.
I've been crushing since 2nd grade, bro.
Damn, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. You're talking about a guy with 35 years of experience. My voice just got real weird, huh?
It's nice. I like that.
Look at my pit bull with no ear.
Yeah, that ear is scary, man.
Well, she had cancer in her ear. They had to take it out, and I think she's doing pretty well. She looks muscular as shit. The doctor's like, well, it probably spread to her liver. No, it didn't.
Is she a rescue?
Yeah.
She looks it. That's what that ear looks like. It looks like she got that on the street,
She's
man.
a badass. Look at her. She's a fighter. Those dogs are built for war, man. Built for war. There was this pit bull, famous fighting dog, and a guy wrote a poem, and the poem was called "This is a Chiseled Song of War."
Jesus.
Yeah. A chiseled. I've always wanted to be referred to as a chiseled song of war, but I'm not.
I'm surprised it's not framed on the wall somewhere around here.
It should be.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
My buddy Brendan Schaub, who fights in the UFC, won his last fight, and there are 2 photos of him, and I'm gonna frame them and put them in my boy's room. So he sees what time it is.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. You watch sports?
Yeah, man.
What's your team? Boston, right?
Boston across the board.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Congratulations on your socks.
Thanks, man.
Kind of exciting, right?
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. We've been kind of spoiled
How
since
are the Pats
2001.
doing?
Pats 7-2.
I'm kidding. I know. Your boy Brady has had a run, huh?
Dude, he's kind of in your neck of the woods. He's not far from here.
Really?
Yeah, Brentwood.
Really?
I don't want to give your address out, but it's 2-2.
Oh man.
He's had a crazy run, dude. That's another dude. You think that guy would be where he was if he didn't have a chip on his shoulder?
Well, that's right.
That's his whole thing, man.
He works. He still works with a throwing coach.
Yeah, all the time. But that's the thing. Same with Brad Pitt. That guy's still going to acting class. It's not like he just...
Is he?
Yeah. It's not like he just I'm the best at it.
I've always liked that about Brad Pitt. He never rests on his laurels.
No.
He's always working.
The guy's a stud.
That makes the big difference, man.
Yeah. Well,
I still work with a coach. It hasn't helped me lately. I haven't worked in a while.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think that is? You look
sometimes your talent gets so fucking overwhelming.
Yeah.
I think you walk into a room and they don't see you. They see your aura.
Yeah, man.
I
gave up on
you'd
acting.
like to play. What is it in any movie?
I gave up on acting. I don't care.
You got a favorite movie?
I got can you really pick out every favorite movie?
Give me your...
I'll lump in. I'll say The Natural.
Oh, great movie.
Anything Robert Redford or Paul
Natural's
Newman.
A great movie.
I'm on board. I mean, I don't know. We can just... Big Lebowski is my favorite comedy, hands down. I can give you any line from that movie.
Coen Brothers.
Where do you go for? You like Braveheart's a big one for you?
Oh, well, it's a great movie, but no. The Raging Bull.
Mm-hmm.
I used to say Deer Hunter. I don't like it. It's too long, and I watched it again. There's one good scene. Everything else can go.
What scene?
Itself.
The scene where he's hunting?
Russian roulette scene.
You don't like the scene when he's out there just one-on-one going that deer, he's got one bullet and he's got different angles?
That movie is one of the reasons I became an actor.
When he wouldn't give him the shoes?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great scene.
Of course. But Michael Cimino's a fucking egomaniac. Hey, thanks for that long wedding scene. It's a real wedding scene. Would you relax? He'd never get away with that and shouldn't today. That movie would be an hour shorter than it is and should be.
It's literally 3 movies.
Yeah, it's kind of like Eugene O'Neill, Long Day's Journey into Night. That play, he won a Nobel Prize for Literature. That play needed an editor, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody would ever tell a Nobel Prize-winning playwright or Eugene O'Neill that he needs to edit his play. That was the problem.
Yeah.
So now when you go to the play, it's 3.5 hours long, whatever it is. No, doesn't need to be that long. And it was produced posthumously. I like using that word. The whole point of that story was to say that. Hey, I'm sure my audience, a lot of young people really know Eugene O'Neill is in Care.
And what posthumously?
Posthumously.
That's a word.
Yeah.
I used matriculate wrong, and my wife got on me about it.
Matriculate?
Yeah.
How did you use it?
I basically said, I'm like, listen, I took a couple meetings with the guy, didn't matriculate in anything. And she's like, that's not what that word means. And I go, do you know what I'm trying to
matriculate into anything, which would actually mean it didn't trickle down into something like, into substance.
You get what I'm saying here?
Didn't matriculate. I think that is an accurate way of saying it, because actually in Hollywood, nothing happens quickly. It all does kind of dribble into some form of something that has nothing to do with what you were going for, but you'll settle for it anyway.
Well, I just don't. What's the big deal? Why do we get so hung up on words anyway? If you're that's what makes you artistic,
Where's your phone? Let's look up matriculate.
I got it right here. But I think it's, what it means. I'm pretty sure
to matriculate is.
I think it means to go through the school system. It's specifically.
I thought matriculate meant to trickle. Which was because it's got trick in it.
You are such...
Matriculate.
No.
It matriculated down to...
Be enrolled at a college or university is what it means. Record in an official register. Harold E. Scottish. He matriculated at the University of Vermont. There
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
Oh, well, forget that. Obviously, I'm so wrong. Are you kidding me?
No.
That's what matriculate means?
This is my whole point.
Matriculate means to be enrolled in a college?
Yeah, it's like to matriculate through the school system or whatever it means. I don't know. I don't really care.
Well, I guess, but actually, I wonder what the root is, because to matriculate means to go from class to class, to go from thing to thing, right? To matriculate?
I don't know. No, it means to enroll.
What app is that, dude? I don't know if that's the right.
I just went Google search,
It might not
bro.
be the right dictionary app.
I want to matriculate into that world you were talking about living in. You don't really want to move back east. Are you going to move back east?
Well, no. I have a fantasy of it. It's hard to argue with California, bro.
It sure is.
Come on, man.
But you don't miss seasons ever?
Very much. I very much miss the fall. That crisp, cold air and the leaves changing and how what it sparks inside of you creatively. It's a death and a rebirth. Innovation is death and rebirth. What people don't understand about innovation is it's a form of destruction. You must destroy what was and give birth to the new. God damn it, I'm smart as shit. And fall is a harbinger of said destruction and rebirth. Wow.
I mean, it's
always be changing, guys. Always be changing. Always be growing. Always be connecting. Always be contributing.
Do you have those like over your bed? No,
but it just, I'm getting older and now I feel like I have to give people advice.
Those are great things to live by.
The problem is that the problem with feel good speech and feel good sayings is that they're at the end of the day horseshit. What matters is information, technique, and correct instruction. Oh, and practice under guided and expert tutelage. Expert. It's French for expert.
So do you think everything has to come through from a coaching? Have you had coach? You ever had to take stand-up coaching?
No.
All right.
But your
maybe
audience,
you should.
your audience is
maybe
your, hey man.
God damn, it just got real.
But your audience is your coach. I mean, in a way, what happened to me stand-up wise was that this next hour I'm working on, I'm trying to be really thematic.
Is it
I'm
a
trying
full
to say
wasn't your
something.
Showtime hour like an hour 26
Way
or something
too long.
like that?
It was way too long. Speaking of somebody who needed an editor, me, and I got lazy.
I heard that was Gene O'Neill's one criticism.
Was, and it's why I can't watch it, and it's why I'm not proud of it, and it's why I don't like it.
Come on.
Nope. I couldn't watch it. I thought it was terrible.
My boy watched it. My buddy hit me up. I have one buddy from growing up. Yeah. I mean, do you have a lot of friends from growing up because you were all over the place?
Not enough.
So I have like 7 close buddies from growing up, but 4 that I talk to, and 3 that I talk to on the reg, and 1 is like a comedy fan. None of the other ones are really comedy fans.
Yeah.
And he just hit me up one day, texted like, dude, it just said, dude, Bryan Callen special, cried the whole time, like something like that.
That's great. I do get really great feedback from guys.
You could do 3 hours straight because you just go off into fantasy land and you just keep creating stuff. You just like look out and you just keep seeing things over and over.
I did an
and
hour and 55 minutes in Toronto without even realizing it. And I got off stage. And I go, was I on there? How much longer was I on there? About an hour? And they go, dude, it's it's an hour 55. Didn't even realize it,
dude.
I don't do that anymore. I try to keep it to
Well, I mean, it's amazing
minutes.
how much someone that's that self-centered can just, you know what I mean? Can just keep.
Keep doing it.
Have no concern for other people's time.
That's exactly right. It's exactly
the lack of awareness, you know what I
mean? My least favorite trait in a person is self-centeredness, which I have some of. And one of the things that children do is it hopefully takes you out of yourself a little bit.
I would hope so.
Very refreshing, much needed on my part. I felt myself getting very particular in a bad way before I had children. I didn't want to be that guy.
This is something I want to talk to you for a while. Let me ask you this. Do you remember that storytelling show I used to do?
Yes.
I think your friends are going to love this. So I started this storytelling show, and the first one I had, I had Steve Byrne, Bryan Callen, Morgan Murphy, Brody Stevens. Right. I'm like, I want storytellers, and it was going to be all, it's kind of like what my podcast, The Crabfeast, is now, natural storytelling.
I remember you were pissed.
I was pissed at one person,
Me.
Bryan Callen.
But I didn't know what the format was.
Yeah, I kept, dude, I'm not mad at you.
No,
I think it's hilarious
listen,
when
though.
I think back. I know, and I remember there was.
I felt bad about it.
Guys, it was storytelling. We were all telling real stories, and every time I got to Callen, he'd be like, "What about me and Steve? Just if we're cops and we're on the street and we got to," and I'm like, I ride a horse, and Steve, Bryan is killing, and I'm like boiling up inside. I'm like, we're doing real stories, bro. We're doing real.
And I didn't listen to you. I didn't know that.
It was so funny.
I remember going, when you said to me afterwards, you were like, because I know you like me and you didn't want to be mean, but you were like, dude, but we were supposed to tell real stories, and immediately I went, oh, I fucked up.
Well, I
fucked up.
That's the thing, and you were crushing every time that it got to you.
But again,
of course,
that ruins the format. I felt bad about and thought about many times because I knew that was your thing, and I had misinterpreted it.
I love, you know what? Me and Sickler laugh about all the time because like anytime he's like,
he's a good guy.
Oh yeah, he goes like one night I talked to him like, I forget where it was. It was pretty recent. He goes, Callen was there. I go, how did Callen do? He goes, dude, that guy. He just starts talking about what you're talking about. I'm like, fucking Callen. Like it's an ongoing joke between me and him about that night because he was there that night.
This is how I open my stand-up now. I go like this. I go, anyway, I haven't really reached my goal. I mean, I've reached my goals comedically, obviously. I just, so weird. They give you these awards. I just was rated the number one comic of, I don't know what some bullshit where, they did an 8-year study with all these experts and I came up on top. I don't know. I'm the greatest comic apparently. I don't fucking read. And that's how I started. It's so obnoxious.
I love that you do that though, because then the expectations for you to be cocky the whole time is so high.
I know. So ridiculous. I like that kind of humor where you're just like, I like going up there like, this is cashmere. Not that I even notice. I don't do my own shopping.
You know what I was doing? Tom Segura and we just did a gig
I
together.
fucking love that guy.
Oh, Segura's the best.
That guy is a great guy.
Yeah, he's
and
awesome.
he's funny as shit.
So funny.
He's another one like you that more people need to know about.
Yeah. They will. He's
yeah.
got stuff going. He's funny. He keeps
amazing.
doing his thing.
Segura's amazing.
We kept doing. We did a casino together. So we flew together, drove together there, and drove back, flew back, and so the whole time we just kept playing the same beat. Where it'd be like, I can't remember what we were getting paid, but we just kept giving a higher number to him of like what I was getting. I'm like, dude, whatever, man. You're gonna do this gig, $18,000. You know what I mean? Whatever, And he'd be like, so then every time anything. And then we were just in Minneapolis together, and he had done Minneapolis like a little while ago. I was there last week doing Acme, and he's recording his special. So I went over to see the set and see him and stuff. And then he goes, "How's Acme, man?" I go, "Dude, it's fine. Dude, you're gonna go out there for what, $12,000? You do a week, you know what I mean?" Knowing that it's way more than what we're talking about, and he just started dying laughing. I love that. It's not the same.
That shit. I love that shit. I love it. He's got a great capacity for play. He loves to be a silly goose.
Oh yeah,
I love that guy. He's a guy who can stand in one place and crush a room.
I was going to say, you know what he's got opposite from you?
I'm pulling bunnies out of hats, kicking my leg up, sweating through 2 shirts. I got to do all kinds of shit to get people. It's literally like I'm working overtime. I got to be in shape to do comedy.
Oh, you have to.
Because I'm afraid to just stand and really, tell jokes. I can't do it.
He also uses a minimal amount of words. I'm always impressed by people that don't need a lot of words to get a point across or make something make sense.
Well, that like a song is what you're doing. That's why you constantly rework your set, right? You're trying to find the perfect rhythm, the perfect number of words, the perfect harmony. Where are you going to, stress that word? It becomes just like a song. I've had a couple very good musicians tell me that that's exactly what it's like. They go, "You do what I do." What do you mean? They go, "Well, writing jokes looks very much like writing a song because there's a rhythm to it."
Yeah.
You go up on that word, you go down on this word, whether you know it or not, that's what you're doing. I was like, yeah, I do know I'm doing that because I'm a musician.
Yeah.
Because I'm a beautiful, beautiful drummer. And I don't use the word beautiful twice, but I just did.
You did it.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You did it.
Yeah.
It's not even a real kit, but what, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Well, I don't appreciate you telling the people that.
Does anyone know?
Well, it's not a kit. I guess it's an electronic drum set. Is that what they would call it?
Yeah, but I get the deal. You don't want to wake up the namers and stuff.
You have a condescending attitude toward my drums, bro.
Well, I wouldn't call them drums.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Again, I was a drummer. I was a percussionist. You know what I mean?
I did not know that,
yeah,
sir.
Come on.
You were a percussionist.
What am I playing the tri-toms? Yeah, I did.
Jesus, you're dropping. God.
Tri-toms. You ever play tri-toms?
We're minute 32 in this podcast, and I just found something new about it.
I was horrible. I hated it. Everyone in my house growing up you had to be in Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. You had to play a sport, and you had to play an instrument.
I was a fucking weeblo.
That's as far as you got?
Yeah, I couldn't do the Boy Scouts thing.
Oh, I got all the way to star. I wanted Eagle, man. If I meet a guy that's Eagle Scout, it's like one of the things I'm most jealous about.
I ended up in the Special Forces at a very young age, and
Here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I can't talk about it, but you wake up free every morning? Do you? I'm just curious. Do you wake up free every morning?
Oh, I live in a pretty shady neighborhood, so not really.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
But you can speak your mind, right? You can do.
Oh yeah, I can pretty much.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I've been to Iraq. You been to Iraq?
I've been to Afghanistan. I did a USO tour.
Yeah, I did Iraq during the war. I was in the war.
I was actually too. So
but I flew over Baghdad.
I
whatever.
Flew
you
in
know what
Afghanistan. I would argue is just as dangerous. So
yeah.
If
I've also been to Kuwait and.
Okay, I'm not competing with you.
No, I don't want to get in. No, I don't want to get in the thing.
But you're kind of like you're looking down. You're sniffing the air a little bit. Like you've got to.
No.
You're condescending. One eye is smaller than the other right now, and you're looking at me. Yeah.
I performed in South Korea recently. You done that?
I didn't do that either.
Okay.
So obviously you like the troops more than I do. I guess you're a bigger patriot. I don't know what you're getting at.
Just saying.
But you're not just saying. You're clearly trying to get an edge on me on the podcast.
I do a lot of POW gigs.
All right. Well, I don't know if that's even true.
You know
where?
Like in camps, just in camps.
Well, but how are you getting?
They fly me in. They blindfold
Who
me.
flies you in?
The guys holding the prison. Yeah, they're holding the prison.
I have trouble believing.
No,
this,
it's true, man.
Okay.
No, all right. I'll be straight up with you. I sneak in. I get through and I perform.
Yeah. That seems very dangerous, and I don't know how you get a mic in there on a stage.
Nah, I know I have to do it quiet. It's all in whispers.
You're whispering?
Yeah,
You're whispering your whole
and I do
set?
one-on-ones. I have to go to each cell
That's
individually.
a lot of work, dude, and not to mention very dangerous.
How patriotic are you?
Thank you. I want to just say thank you to you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Because you do have an edge.
I do.
Do you wear those topsiders with no socks?
Yeah, always. Who wears socks with
Haven't seen
topsiders?
topsiders since 1985 in Massachusetts when
Yeah.
I was in Cape Cod.
Cape Cod.
Do you
Tell
own a
me I
boat?
want to go there. No, I've always wanted to.
You did, huh?
I still do. Hopefully someday, sailboat.
You want to be a salty dog, don't you?
I want to have a farm that's on the water that I can get in my boat and then take it to Boston and like go meet my brother with my kids and be like, "What's up, man?"
So let's talk about because when we talked about, you said you want enough money so you can have, I think a salsa. You want to make
bro.
you want to
Applesauce. I want to start my own applesauce company.
You want to start your own applesauce company.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to start your own applesauce company. You want a wine shop and a restaurant.
Yep.
What else? And a bed and
I
breakfast.
like a small B&B, yeah, but like I want individual cottages.
Why do you want to be in a
know what I mean?
position of service like this? It's
I
a
just
lot of
love
work.
because I like it. I like what this we are. That's what we do. We make people feel good. That's what you do as a comedian, and I want to do it in the same way in different aspects.
What makes you think you could do it in that aspect?
I don't know because I just think I have an idea. I think anyone can do anything.
An applesauce company is interesting.
Tell me right now how many applesauce you can name.
Only Mott's.
Thank you.
I agree.
Can you see how large this market is? But guess what? I'm not going to do some pureed baby crap. I'm doing chunky, a lot of lemon juice in there.
Lemon juice?
Yeah, lemon juice. That's the key to a good applesauce, bro.
What?
Lemon juice
What
and
else?
cinnamon.
Cinnamon and lemon juice?
Yeah, cinnamon.
So chunky apples.
Yeah.
You using organic apples? Probably.
We'll see. I'll probably have an apple orchard. You know what I mean? Then I'll just pull from that. So
an apple orchard?
Yeah, you buy a farm that's got an apple orchard.
What kind of
now I'm not
fucking
outsourcing.
apples?
I think you probably want to go with Macintosh.
You
That's a
don't
good
know,
apple.
though, do you? You haven't done the research.
Bro, I'm focused on comedy right now.
Yeah, exactly. Not even so sure you know what apples make the best applesauce, so I'm already disappointed. And there are about 2,000, 3,000 species of apples, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. I'm not going in there with Fuji's or Fiji's. I'm going to probably roll Macintosh.
Now, you don't know. Macintosh are the worst apples because they're so powdery.
Well, listen,
fuck out Macintosh. I hate Macintosh.
I'm going to be straight up with you.
Yeah.
I'm not stoked with your tone. Okay, it's not like something I'm really impressed with at this moment.
Look, man.
What's your goal, Bryan?
I want to be very easy. I want to be the greatest comic in the history. I already am. I won it. I won that award. But what do I want to do? What's my goal?
You don't know. You got nothing.
I want to be a pro boxer, a pro tennis player, and
you're not going to be any of these things.
I'm not going to be any of this. And I want to be the drummer for U2.
Okay, well, that's not going to happen.
Okay, well, I'm going to reach for all three.
Do you think you'll ever be in a band?
No, but my son will. My son plays the drum 2 hours a day. It's crazy, and he's 2.
No, he doesn't.
When he wakes up from his nap, I'm going to put him in front of those drums, and he's going to sit there and play those drums.
And does he like it, or is he just doing it because he's trying to win your affection?
Well, I will not look at him, much less talk to him, unless he plays at least 2 hours, and he's only 2. Yeah.
Is that where you're really going to put, like, if you're going to get him to focus on anything, is it going to be drums?
No, he wants to play the drums. I would never push him in it, but I can tell that this kid is obviously got a love for the drums. I'm telling you,
what do you think he'd do?
He's 2.5 and he's playing the drums all the time.
What do you think he would do if you showed him like a real drum set? You think he'd be intimidated by it, or you think
he'd freak out and play the shit out of it?
I mean, that'll probably change his mind because this is something different.
Here's my goal. I want to keep doing stand-up and surprise myself with the things I come up with. I want to write a screenplay and surprise myself with what I think I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to have enough money so that I can own a tennis court, hit balls with a machine, have a great view, and hang with my boys and swill wine and shoot the shit. That's a good time.
That's it. I like it.
I like just hanging with my friends and just being silly. I spend time with Dov Davidoff, my buddy Brendan Schaub. I like an eclectic group of guys, all who are accomplished or at least on their way. Mm-hmm. Not because I'm status oriented, just because I want you to be interested and passionate about something. I don't care what it is.
Key.
And then we drink and we make merry. And I want the money to be able to pay for everybody's drinks, so we don't have to worry about the sticky issue of who owes what.
Yeah, never. That should.
I want to
be
the guy who just says, "Let me take care of this." I have money, but I don't have that. I need 10 mil in the bank. I don't have that.
I love playing that game. I love that number game.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, I think I probably could chill the rest of my life with 4. You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, if you put it the right way in the right places.
Interest and stuff.
Yeah, move stuff. But I don't know, man. I just would love to. I'd love to be able to do all the things I want to do with my life. I think everyone should be able to. That's why you need that chip, man.
I know, bro.
Because, if you had the chip, maybe you could be a better comic. I mean,
hey, man.
Hey, listen, what you're doing is fine.
Hey, man, I got a chip. I'm fucking angry. Look at my face.
Yeah, dude, that's intense.
By the way, you're quietly impressed with my 46-year-old body and the kind of shape I'm in.
I'm not quietly impressed. I mean, dude, look at me. I mean, I know what you. I'm 37.
But you're a meaty, big Irishman.
Yeah,
not a bad
but
thing.
I used to be.
You're like Jimmy Schubert or Jay Mohr to me.
Oh, good Lord, Jimmy Shubes.
Two funny guys.
I golfed with Schubert one day, and
Schubert's a big kid.
You know what I said to him? I go, dude, he's like limping around. He's got that bad hip.
He's
He literally needs a new hip.
He's younger than me. He's Schubert. I hope you're listening to this. If you were to look him in a vacuum, you're like, you retiring? You 65 yet? He's the greatest.
Late 40s. Anyway, I just kept telling him, I go, dude, you know what you remind me of right now? He goes, what? I go, I feel like you played like linebacker for the Bears in like the 80s or something, the way you're limping
Absolutely.
around. That's just the way he's like, Jack, he literally needs a new hip. And I just thought of this thing.
Jimmy Schubert's greatness.
I'm in Hawaii, right? And I'm golfing, and my wife just comes and she sits in the car with me, and we hang out and stuff. And I go, if you were a caddy, like on tour, what would your nickname be? I go, you don't have to answer right now, but just think of something fun. And she goes, chips and dip. I laughed my ass off. And then first person I thought of would be, what a great sketch that would be. Jimmy Schubert. He's like a caddy on tour, chips and dip. Everybody loves him. He's got the bag. He's got that limp going. Everyone's like, hey, chips and dip.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
They're throwing bags of chips, and like everyone on tour loves them. Hey, C&D.
You know what's great about being a stand-up is you can be a character like Jimmy Schubert, and you can get away with it.
Get away with it.
He's the best.
He is awesome.
You can be,
How often do you see him?
Not enough, but I see him. I like Jimmy a lot.
Great guy.
Jimmy kills rooms.
I can imagine.
God, he's funny as hell. I mean, he's been doing it forever.
Yeah. You don't golf though, huh? No.
I think hate golf.
Really? Because why? It's so static.
I mean, I'm a scratch golfer, but I'm stupid athletic.
Yeah.
And I'm very zen. But
that's why I feel like you'd like it, because there's so much.
No, I play golf. I played a lot with my dad.
Yeah.
My father, but I'm not good. In fact, somebody said to me, I played golf. My buddy Jerry has an 82 handicap, and
an 82 handicap,
not an 82 handicap, but he shoots
82s?
regularly in the 80s,
yeah,
low 80s. And he said, "What'd you shoot?" And I said, "About a 90." And I said, "Yeah, about a 90." And he goes, "You did?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Good, man." He goes, "What's the real number now?"
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh God, about 106."
Oh man.
But I wasn't counting like
all the crap.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a good golfer. What's your?
I'm in around where your boy is.
Are you?
From the tips. I like to play from the back.
You're a big kid.
And then I shoot around 84.
You can drive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got strong hips.
But I mean, I played college ball. I have a baseball swing. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And I can generate it. I mean, I could probably trim down and still get it out there. I mean, I'm not crushing like 320 or anything like that.
How far do you hit it?
I mean, on a good day, if I got the wind and I got downhill, I've hit it real far. But I'd say I'd probably average around 270, maybe
That's
275.
Very far.
Yeah, it's a good ball. It's a good ball.
I
mean, I'm not going to get on the tour with it. I mean, maybe nationwide.
Well, see, now I just saw you sniff like that.
You know why? I've been hanging out with Carl D, man. Carl D. Gregorio. You know Carl D.
I love Gregorio.
And he does that sniff all the time, and it's so addictive. He does it with everything.
Gregorio is good people. He's a big big Italian. He's a big Italian. I think he's got a brajol on him, too. He's got a piece on him.
No. You know what he does have, though? He carries a badge. He's got like a badge from like his friend who's a cop. Gave it to him, like a friend of the police badge, you know?
Yeah.
I think he calls it a tin. He goes, watch me tin this guy. He says that, like, I'll tin him. And like, which means you'll show him the badge. It's just
I'll tin him.
Can't even hang out with him. It's so funny. He's hilarious. He's the funniest guy I've ever seen off stage in my life.
This is what I wish. I hope this officer is listening. A good man in Sacramento pulls me over, looks at me. I made some bad turn. He goes, "How do I know you?" I said, and before I could answer, he said, "Bryan Callen. I was just listening to you on the podcast."
Shut up.
And let me off. I don't want to give his name because I don't want to get him in trouble, but he's a fantastic guy. Dude, Thank you out there if you're listening, sir.
I think 90% of the time when a cop pulls you over, the cops that are like, get it, you know what I mean? They understand. They know who they can be like, listen, dial it back, slow down.
I mean, they're just, good cops. Like, for me, I always get along with cops because they're dudes trying to do a job. And they pull you over. If you're a dick to those guys, they're gonna, like people who are dicks to cops are so stupid. Those dudes are, first of all, they're macho guys. They're usually good guys. You want to fuck with them? You want to start to fight with them? They'll meet you halfway. That's what they gear up for. Those guys are. Look at LAPD cops. Those guys are in shape. They're all fucking. Find me one fat LAPD cop. It's really hard to do.
Yeah.
They're in shape. They're and they're not hearing a peep out of you. They're working a tough city. But if you're respectful and you realize that their job is dealing with negativity all day long, you know what I do? I make them laugh. I'm like, look, you haven't. Did I break the law? Fine. If I'm speeding, I'm gonna make you laugh. Give me a ticket or not, I'm still gonna try to make you laugh. I got enough friends who are cops. They want to shoot themselves in the face at the end of the day because they're dealing with all this fucking negativity.
Exactly.
It's like my buddy's a motorcycle cop. He's like, dude, I give 13, 15 tickets. It's like all those 15 times people are like, I hate your guts.
Yeah.
Dude,
you want to hear the greatest cop story I've ever heard in my life? My buddy Fitzy, Mike Fitz, back home. He used to know this kid who was a little bit of a chotch, okay? Worked at a junkyard, bought a Maserati, like a 78 Maserati that doesn't drive, just to have the Maserati keychain to tell girls, yeah, I got a Maserati.
Awesome.
So that's who you're dealing with, right? Made good money at the junkyard because he's like knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's in Boston one night, wrecked, okay? Wrecked. Driving, not the Maserati, some other car. Slams into a car in front of a restaurant, flees the scene of the crime. Cops pull him over like 8 blocks away, and they go, were you in an accident down the street in front of a restaurant? He goes, no, I wasn't. They go, you weren't just in an accident about 8 blocks away? A lot of people saw a car that looked just like this. He goes, no, I wasn't. He goes, because we found a bumper at the scene of the crime, and the front license plate matches your back license plate. So I'm going to ask you one more time. You in an accident down the street? And he goes, yeah, I was in an accident down the street. And he goes, can you get out of the car, please? He gets out, and he goes, you been drinking tonight? And he goes, no, I haven't been drinking. He goes, come on, have you been drinking? Just be honest with me. Have you been drinking? He goes, no, I haven't. He goes, you haven't been drinking at all. You can be honest with me. We've already talked about this. He goes, all right, I had 1 beer. And the guy goes, well, if you had 1 beer, that means you had 2, and if you had 2, you had 4. And he goes, in that case, I had 3. And the cop just started dying laughing, goes, get the hell out of here.
Is that right?
Yeah, because he had seen his rap sheet. He looked at everything the kid had going on. He's like, who is this kid? And he's just looking at him. He's like, how dumb is this kid? And let the kid just run,
wow.
leave the car here or whatever. And the kid
just took off.
But just so, almost like because this kid just entertained him.
Yeah.
He's like, you had 1, you had 2, 2 is 4. And he goes, in that case, I had 3. Like, you know what? Like, hey, check this out. I think it's amazing.
Cops are human beings, man. And you make them laugh and it can go a long way. Or it doesn't.
Yeah, that could have backfired real quick.
I've had cops be like, you're paying the ticket. In which I go, really? Have you seen The Hangover?
Yeah.
You might want to rephrase that, officer.
Have you seen 2?
I was in at least 5 minutes of both movies, so you might want to rephrase
Dude,
that.
the favorite of all of mine for you was Hangover 3, man.
Hey, bro, I just feel like that was a low blow. Come on, man. God damn it, Jay. Did you see 3?
No.
Me neither.
Really?
Didn't.
A little bitter, huh?
No, man. I was doing another movie, Ride Along. Coming out in it.
Oh, yeah. That should be a good one.
Bro, what are you doing? You look like you're exhausted.
Hangover 1 and 2. I mean, dude, you crushed those. Was that amazing? Was that like the one of the greatest things you've ever done in your life?
I mean, yeah.
No?
You don't know what it's going to be. It's just another acting scene.
No, I get it.
Fun to hang with your boys.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that Ken Jeong and Bradley Cooper and Ed Helms and Zach Galifianakis are a lot wealthier than I am, and they used to be not that way. Your life changes quickly.
Wow, this could be a little bit of a thing, huh?
Look, man, it's all good. I'm going to have my time, bro. If I just apply myself, I'm young.
Yeah, no.
I'm only 3 years away from 50. That's when a lot of guys have a resurgence.
Yeah. Dude, you're going to look this good at 50?
I know, not bad, huh?
I
got good skin.
That wouldn't be the first place I'd go, but
okay,
no, just because you're thin, you kind of, you're so thin, it's a little like, ooh, is he healthy? Is he not? Is he sick? You know what I mean? Is he sick?
This is not good though. This conversation.
I mean, that's a size small, but it's still swimming on. I'm like,
no,
you know what I mean?
That's a medium. I'm actually a medium.
His bones are pointy. You know what I mean? Very pointy.
Okay,
a lot of, like, look at your knee. You could cut ice with that.
Yeah, but that's from Muay Thai. I do a lot of Muay Thai.
Just the crooked toes. Just your toes are off. You'd think a guy like your height would have bigger feet. That's all I'm saying.
See, now you're breaking me down. This is not a fun.
This isn't a negative thing.
But it is. I feel like it's a negative thing. I feel like you're breaking me down.
You got big ears. Whatever. I'm just saying.
Big ears.
Everybody's different.
I'm older and my ears are growing. That's all. I'm 9 years older than you are.
I got my ears waxed.
I'm 9 years older than you, aren't I?
7, 10.
When do you want to be Jesus Christ. Where do you want to be in 10 years?
I don't want to say. I'm kind of embarrassed to
An
say.
applesauce magnate?
Could you imagine? You're like doing like
Do you want to be an
doing
applesauce
comedy
mogul?
like you see Larson he's doing
Larson's funniest fucking mogul, and I'll tell you that he's the funniest mogul. He's the best comic mogul.
I'm just doing. All I'm doing is gigs around the country where I'm speaking to Fortune 500 presidents.
Behind you is your applesauce, Larson applesauce.
Ugh.
What would you call your applesauce?
It's called Alma's applesauce.
Alma?
Alma's,
As
yeah.
in your
It's gonna have a picture of my Nana's face. It's gonna be a brown label with like all black writing in her picture, you know.
Alma's.
Alma's, and then on the back it's gonna be the story of like how my Nana used to make her applesauce. The
So
whole point being,
this is based on your nanny's applesauce. There was no Alma, was there?
What'd you just say?
Hey, man.
Nanny?
I mean,
Nana.
Nana. I meant Nana.
What'd you call your grandmother?
It's just that I have staff, and one of my staff, a nanny.
What did you call your grandmother?
Mima.
Mima. Okay. Was that your mom's or your
my
dad's?
side, and my other side I called her Rose, just as a joke. Hello, Rose.
How old were you when you started doing that? Like 4?
I don't know. Hello, Rose.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but really, Grandma.
Honestly, 10 years, man. I would like to have. I want to make a television show. I'd like to make my television show. God willing, that'll happen. And then
I'll be in it if you want.
Trust me, that you're one like. There's a gay character I wrote.
Okay.
Listen, bro, it's not.
I know, but why would you? I'm not gay.
Neither is this guy.
But there's a gay character, so why would you choose? Why would you write it for me?
You know what's hilarious is I'm sitting there today driving. Do you have conversations with yourself?
All the time.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
So I'm driving today, and I'm like, because I'm working on this show. I'm like, if it's get made, I'm start thinking about like guys I would want, and then I'm like, how about Cal? I've thought about you for that guy, and so because I knew I was coming here today, and I'm like, Callan, and then I'm seeing myself in the audition room, and you coming in and doing all this fucking improv off script. I'm like, all right, thanks, man.
Just destroying
and
your fucking words.
Yeah, just crazy improv.
I never do that because you have to be very careful with that.
No, I know, but you're so good at improv and like going into the Bryan Callan world.
Though. I'm also good at boxing, a professional boxer, tennis player. It doesn't mean I'm going to improv when I'm fighting in the ring. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's.
Oh, you're doing those things professionally?
Yeah, I'm sponsored in boxing and in tennis and in drums. So pretty cool. It's fun.
First of all,
yeah.
No.
What?
How often are you playing tennis?
I play 4 intense hours a day.
Do you really?
Weekends are 6 to 7 hours. Yeah.
You're so full of How often do you honestly play?
I play. I mean, I don't want to get into details, but I'm a good tennis player.
How's your second serve?
Oh.
Coming in at like 7-8 miles an hour? What's your speed?
Well, not to be a dick, you're not returning it. You know that.
Is it kicking out to the side?
Oh,
you going to getting the stripe in the middle?
On my ball is it's almost unfair. It's been called unfair.
God, I would love. Yeah. I wish we were at a tennis court right now, and I just had anyone. I just hung out with Justin Gimelstob the other day. You know Justin Gimelstob? No. He's a tennis player.
There are two comics who are Kirk Fox
and Costa.
Yeah.
Well, Gimelstob was ranked. He was the highest he ever got ranked was 18th. He won like 13 times on tour and stuff like that. Yeah, he was a professional tennis player.
He's not a comic.
Not some dude who sits on a couch and fucking talks about it with fucking giant ears. But
hey, man.
I did this.
What the fuck? I don't have giant ears.
Anyway, just hearing him, like he beat Agassi when he was 19.
Oh my god!
And he told us at UCLA, like they had this tournament at UCLA, and he got in by a draw. He was hitting with Agassi the day before because he was on the team.
Jesus.
And then he got in by draw and took Agassi in the first round and beat him. And he said it was like, dude, 19.
Is he a tall guy? What's he look like?
Yeah, he's like 6'2".
Yeah, these guys are different.
Maybe taller than that.
Yeah.
Agassi wasn't.
No. Look at fucking. But Kirk, I want to play with Kirk. I keep forgetting he plays.
That dude. From what I've heard, I've golfed with him.
Well,
his golf game is tight.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
Yeah.
He's a big, rangy kid.
I've played racquetball with Costa.
You have?
I love racquetball, man.
How'd you do against him?
I never beat him. I didn't even get a game off. I mean, I get games. Like, I get points.
You're
I never
not
got a game.
Against the guy who was ranked in the world. Costa was ranked.
Yeah, but he was ranked like 700 and something.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Hey, man.
No, man. Let's be real about it.
Okay, but you're getting aggressive now.
I'm not getting aggressive about it. I just want to say for the
at
record.
one point he was ranked in the 200s. Look, man,
I don't think so, man.
Give me your phone. Where's
I got the phone right
here. Look up
here.
Michael Costa tennis ranking.
And we're just going to believe what we read?
Dude, it's Google, man.
I don't give a Anyway, I
didn't start that company because because it was a fucking fluke. It was it was fiction. I started it because I wanted people to know what it was about.
Okay, here we go.
When I say started, I just came up with the algorithm. I don't mean to take.
A former professional tennis player with a career high ATP Tour ranking of almost 860.
Well, that's not very good, Michael.
Horrible. You weren't professional.
It's not horrible.
Yes,
sir.
it is. How is that not horrible?
Look,
if you were the 860th ranked stand-up comedian in the world,
it's a little different.
You put me in the top 100.
Yeah,
which is probably not true.
Well,
okay?
You're higher than that.
Listen. So even if I was in the top 500,
yeah, you're not
okay?
better.
He's at 860, bro.
Look, bro, there are a lot of tennis players out there, man. And it's a worldwide sport, bro.
Listen, I think I know what's going on here. Probably
what?
Off mic, when you're around Mike, you're on his tip about it.
I am not.
Maybe you are a little bit. That's okay. Everyone gets on someone's tip.
I'm not on his fucking tip. This is outrageous.
I'm just saying, 860 is a joke.
I want you to videotape me playing tennis, and I want you to put it on your website. You'll get a lot of hits. And I don't do that for anybody. I do that for almost no one.
Honestly,
yeah.
If I can come and watch you play tennis,
yeah.
I will record you as long as I can talk shit to you. I bet I could get a couple points off you.
Whoa.
I mean, put it this way. I'm an athlete. I can compete in any sport. You put me in a sport, I'll play. Never been coached, man.
Jesus.
Natural talent.
I know, but my topspin is once again, unfair. It's not fair.
Have you played with any comics?
No. Don't play with comics unless they're really good.
Well, no one even knows how good you are. It's just all myth, bro.
No, smooth.
Why don't you post a vid on your own site?
What I am going to post a video of is me wheel kicking the shit out of a dummy. And for any of you MMA guys, martial artists, hold your tongue till you see what I'm capable of doing to your face with my legs. Okay? With my legs. At 46, by the way.
That's 47.
Oh, and just remember, it's not trick photography. Was also wearing a wig. I think the first word that's going to come out of your mouth is legit. The man is legit. Pausing. Let me see how much time we've... For Christ's sake, we're almost at an hour.
I mean, it feels like...
When am I doing your podcast again? Yeah, right. Too busy.
You are? I mean, if you want to come on and not talk about fucking genocide.
Hey, bro.
Good
What
Lord.
I do? Is that what I talked about last time?
You got all, you're like, fucking, I saw genocide, the things are going on, it's gunshots, my mother put us on the floor, we were 7, remember? Where were
Lebanon, probably, I was talking about.
Yeah, fucking Lebanon. You've been around the world, man. You're cultured.
Well, yeah.
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 I mean, it doesn't show, like, it doesn't come out in your comedy, you know what I mean? But
I don't like where this is going. I feel like you're... where are you going to be? Where can we see you?
Well, the 29th, when you're in Salt Lake, I'll be headlining the Hollywood Improv 8 o'clock show. If anyone would like to come up to that.
Matter. No, they'll all be here. They'll all be at Wise Guys in Utah.
Got a show coming out on the Esquire Network. You can check that out. Best bars in America. Not a big deal. It's just a small network. It's nothing great. And other than that, you can always check out my website or Twitter.
Wait, what is your special called?
It's not like your special. It's just a half-hour special.
So
Comedy
what?
Central presents. Did you just bypass that? You didn't even do one, huh? You just went right to the hour 26?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going to do an hour 26. Ugh. I really dropped the ball. I should have edited the shit out of that, and I didn't.
Well,
and
you would
by
have.
the way, the shit I was doing after that was so good. It gelled right after I shot my special. It gelled. It gelled perfectly.
Yeah, that's what's tough.
It kills me. It's one of those things you can never quite right. I'm also my biggest critic. If I do something, I hate everything about myself. I hate the way I look. I hate it all. I don't
watch anything.
I can't watch anything I do.
No, I don't want to. Why would you? I didn't do it for me. I did it for everyone else. And
I'd rather look like anybody else sometimes. Look, maybe it's helpful to be.
No, I get it. I totally understand what you're talking about. I can see why you would want that, but. What?
This has been the worst podcast I've ever
done. It's the greatest. This is the best.
Yes, it was. You weren't Dana White, but I appreciate you coming here.
No, man. I used to job with Dana White when I was the Fox robot on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah. I was the Fox robot for a year or so, and when UFC came over to Fox, I would jaw back and forth, and he was awesome about it.
He's greatness.
Boston, I mean, what do you want? You know, I mean,
he's good people, that guy.
Good Lord.
Jay Larson, thank you for coming on the Bryan Callen Show.
Thanks for having me, man.
The people are going to be very happy with
always
this.
Fun to hang out with you, man.
We don't spend enough time together.
No, which is good, and you know.
Mm-hmm. What?
Oh, I mean.
No, what did you say?
Boy.
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Man, your son's got big feet, dude.
Yeah. He's a big boy. He's a giant. He has giantism. Don't make fun of giants. I feel bad for giants. The world isn't made for them. You ever see a giant try to dial a cell phone?
No, I haven't seen many giants.
Oh, yeah, I have one in my room back there in the shed. He's such a sweetie. We feed him porridge. Never feed a giant meat.
No.
They're prone to rage.
Yeah.
He tries to dial a cell phone. He's like, I'm like, I'll do it for you.
That's sweet of you.
America, this is the kid saying goodbye.
You've been listening to The Bryan Callen Show. Be sure to visit bryancallen.com for information about this episode as well as past and future episodes. You can follow Bryan on Twitter @Bryan Callen and like him on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Bryan Callen Comedy. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time.